At the end of the day, Blake Lively was in Gossip Girl. Blake Lively was in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And Blake Lively is best friends with Taylor Swift. She's not canceled. Yeah. She'll be fine.
To just say, your career's over. You're a piece of shit human. Like, you don't deserve to work again. I don't agree with that. I think also the person allows themselves to be canceled by buying into the canceling.
All cancel culture a lot of the time does is get the person you're canceling more publicity.
Sometimes people need the call out. And I think people need to answer for some of the things that they've said or like behaviors that they've taken part in.
We should have said this sooner. Absolutely. Like, there must be some effect because everyone tries to avoid it like the plague.
Because if you think about it on like a micro level, like in terms of like your friend group or your community that you like hang out with, like if you were to get canceled, which I have been before, in those terms, like it makes you sit with yourself in a way that you've never had to. In a world where discomfort is actively avoided, therapy is not accessible to many, we have found that talking it out has been a form of free therapy in itself. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Kelly. And we dive into topics like death, divorce, disordered eating, debt, and every taboo topic in between.
With that, who's ready to get taboo? Anyways, so my cutie moment today.
Yeah.
I was at the gym. It took me like half the day to get there.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of my luteal phase. I'm about to start my period.
Metal.
I am just lucky I was there, right?
Yeah.
And this girl comes up to me. I'm like almost done with my workout, and she'd been working out in like the same little like the little side room where they do classes. You know, she'd been doing her own workout. She comes up to me. She's like, "I really like the workout you're doing. You look like such a badass."
Hey.
And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so nice."
Oh my God. It's a girl's girl.
It was too cute.
Yeah, that's like, so cutie.
Girl. So I'm like, obviously I tell her what workout I'm doing. I'm like, "Thanks so much." And then I was like, "Back at you." But I was like, we need more girls like that.
Yeah.
That was so cute and so nice. And especially because she didn't know that it took me everything I had to get there today.
Yeah.
And I have kind of a complex about not like only like strictly weightlifting. Like I come from like a weightlifting background. It's kind of ingrained in my brain, internalized that like if you're not like just strictly lifting heavy, it's like not a real workout, which is not true.
Yeah.
I'm working through it.
Yeah.
So like I'm doing other things.
Okay.
Still with weights.
Yeah.
Just not like, you know, the classic like weightlifter splits, whatever. But anyway, so like to tell me I look like a badass.
Oh my God, incredible.
That was cool.
Especially when you don't feel like a badass.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was cute.
That's why when you have a good thought about a person, like, I don't know where I heard this initially, but like, if you have a good thought about a person, just fucking tell them. Because you have no idea.
None.
When I get, and like, I can sniff out when someone gives me a genuine compliment or not.
Yeah.
I know it. And it's like when those moments happen where someone just genuinely had a kind thought about me and decided to share it. I'm not kidding. It makes my fucking week.
Yeah.
Like just say the nice things.
Just
fucking do it.
It like literally, it melts me in the best way. It's just everything I need. Maybe I place too much on external validation, but you know what? It's working for me.
Totally.
In this moment.
I need it all the time. Your story reminds me of this TikTok I watched the other day, maybe yesterday. Oh man, I see. This would have been a good one to send you. I'm so bad about sending TikToks, but
think of me,
dude. This one is so funny.
That would make my day.
Yeah, this woman.
You thought of me when you watched TikTok.
I definitely thought of you when I saw it, but I was like,
whatever, lady.
I was like, whatever. I'm not going to send it. This is too much effort to hit a button. But this woman was like, yeah, I had this weird thing happen to me today where I went to the gym and she's like, I try to be really consistent and I try to go all the time. And as I'm leaving, the guy working by.
I saw this one too. Tell it.
The guy working behind the counter is like, hey, yeah, good for you. You finished your workout. And she was like, yeah, thanks. And I'm paraphrasing here. And he was like, yeah, I see you here almost every day. And she's like, yeah, I really try to be consistent. And then she's like, and that's where he should have stopped. And she was like, so then he goes, give me one of these. And she's like, all right. And she does. And he's like, so like you show up here when you're in your luteal phase? And she was like, did you just learn a new word? And he was like, I didn't. That's amazing. Good for you.
I need Kevin to know that much about my cycle.
Yeah. Required.
I need that. It should be like a basic requirement that like men are as in tune with your cycle as you are. Maybe more.
I think that is something that I'm going to put on like, again, like you would call it a manifestation sheet or whatever for like my next partner. Yeah. I call it rules and regulations of like what I need.
Yes.
Or goodbye.
Rules of engagement.
Yeah. And if you don't know all of the parts of my cycle and what to expect when it is expecting, then like goodbye.
Correct.
I need you to be able to feed me and compliment me.
Yes.
And make me not feel crazy in that order.
Yeah. Thank you. I had just gotten in bed. Kevin was like finishing up some stuff. He gets in bed and he's like, what percentage do you think our like cooking ratio is between the two of us? And then he's
that seems like laughing. A loaded question for some reason.
I was like, why? Like, where are you going with this? And he's like, someone asked me at work and I told them and I want to know what your answer is. And
this is like, a loaded question.
I know, so loaded, like fully loaded baked potato. And I was like, probably 60-40 you. And he's like, that's exactly what I told
thank
them.
God. Oh, thank God. Okay.
I was like, so we're on the same page.
That's
I was like,
good.
I was like, do you want me to be cooking more for you? And he's like, no, I like our ratio. And I'm like, okay,
cute.
Perfect. I was like, I do want to get more into baking. He's like, now that I can get behind.
Dude.
I was like, you need to get me a new house.
Right. I think that baking is objectively better than cooking, and I will have that argument till the day I die.
I just have so much fun with it.
It's fun.
I enjoy it.
And
it's very soothing.
And I think it's really metal that it's chemistry.
Yeah.
Like cooking, I'm sorry. Like I fucking hate cooking. And I just feel like you're throwing a bunch of shit in a pan and like hoping for the best. And there's no rules. And I'm a control freak. And with baking, it's like if you put 1 grain of too much sugar, the whole thing is fucked. And that is so dramatic. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And like also like I just think about like I come from a family of bakers, my aunt, my grandma, my mom, me, my sisters, everyone. We all bake. We're all bakers. And my grandma used to make this Christmas candy called Divinity. And it's like essentially, actually, I don't even know what goes in it. I know there's like a lot of sugar, but you can only make it in one weather condition. I think it's egg whites too, maybe. I don't know. Regardless, it has to be sunny, cold, crisp, no humidity in the air, or it doesn't turn out.
Really?
When
that kind of shit is cool.
That makes me horny. That is science, my dude. That is science and treats. 2 things I love coming together. Amazing.
I love that.
See, you don't get any of that stupid fucking shit with cooking. It's just like, add some.
Well, and it's crazy too. Like the elevation will change, like how much, like how hot it's just.
Yes. Baking is incredible.
There's a lot to know.
Yeah, but you just gotta
like. Are you
treats.
one of the people who watches the Great British Bake Off?
Literally,
is that what it's called?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. How dare you? And yes, it's one of my favorite shows. Thank you very much for asking. And there's
a new
season.
My sisters watch it.
It is the most comforting, happy. Like it's competitive, but everyone's so lovely and supportive of each other, says the Libra. And they're just baking sweet treats, and it's hard and it's pretty. Baking is science and art.
British accents.
Oh my God, yes.
I could get down with it.
They have a whole new season out, and I have purposefully been saving it for a day that I have nothing going on so I can binge the fuck out of it. Oh, I'm going to be on the plane. I'm going to watch it from...
That's perfect.
I'm going to watch it on the plane. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Anyway, watch Great British Bake Off. It is, even if you don't love baking, so good.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I love that.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about that right now.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a segue. This is a hard, we're switching. We're going on a whole new railroad track.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about today?
I think the time has come for us to talk about cancel culture.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think that cancel culture, I don't know that it's necessarily taboo. I just think it has become really prevalent in our world.
But I think there is like taboo parts to it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you talk about someone who's getting canceled, it's like it's usually like a taboo thing.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yes.
Or like a problematic thing or whatever. And I think what's taboo is like to like forgive people.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I'd like to dive into that.
Like if someone does something like whatever category, bad, we'll just go with bad. Like the public is like, nope, canceled forever. Yeah. You are not allowed to exist in the way that you did. And you're canceled.
Yeah.
And like to have like public forgiveness or anything like that, I feel like that's where like it feels taboo.
need to marinate with that for a second
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm processing that. That's interesting.
Okay.
I've never thought about that before. I think I'm going to, full disclaimer, this is a topic that I am constantly thinking about, but have yet to settle on an opinion.
Yeah.
So if I get annoying and I'm playing devil's advocate, it's because I just don't fucking know. Here's what I do know, which is not a lot. And that's the episode. Done. We can just leave it there. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Can we talk about scary movies? I do better with that.
Expert.
I felt so smart. Anyway, the very little I know is that I don't think that I think that there are parts of cancel culture that make a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
But I think generally speaking, yeah, guys, it's not working.
No.
It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't. All it does is like entertain me on TikTok for a day and then but no change happens.
And then I feel sad. It's like, okay, it's kind of like.
We have to talk about the line because sometimes I think it's valid.
Line?
There's a line, right?
Line. I thought you said lying.
There's like a line in the sand, right? And there's certain people that fall into the category of being canceled and I'm like, yeah.
Who should be removed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then there's Diddy. Lots of people. And that's the thing though, is that like that opinion, that is an opinion and it differs of who people think should or shouldn't be canceled. I think we can all agree on Diddy, to be honest with you. But, then like, I think where I get the most, I get annoyed is when people, are surprised, like influencer culture. I love PR. I think PR is so fascinating. I love the study of people, if you will. And there's a whole science to PR. And so I think celebrities are just a different breed than influencers. Yeah. And I think there's been a huge shift in that we don't really have like movie stars anymore. We have influencers are the new face of pop culture. Yeah. And I think what's interesting about influencers is that they don't typically have like a publicist unless they're huge. They're people on the internet. Yeah. Right. Like they're just random people on the street. And so what I think is crazy is when an influencer does something problematic and the whole fucking world is shocked. Like, yeah, no shit. This is some dumbass from Arkansas who blew up because they went viral from one video. You really think that they have the coaching and the tools and the publicist to like not piss off the public? If you support an influencer, just know that at some point they're going to get canceled. Because I think that pop culture has shifted. And I think that it's weird to expect influencers to be like people that we look up to. Like, not that there's bad ones. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I see it's almost like celebrity culture has shifted in that way.
It has.
And well, what I think is kind of interesting is where like celebrities are more like reachable now because they have also become like they kind of are in that influencer space as well. Not all of them, but some of them.
Well, and with social media.
Yes, because of their social media accounts, they can be on that like the way an influencer is.
Yes.
So it's a less like tabloidy. Yeah. And what I do think is cool for them is they get to then control the narrative of like how the public is kind of perceiving them in the way that they do. It's like not like the Britney Spears or Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan era of tabloids where it's like the trying to get the most unflattering shot and writing these horrible articles about things that aren't true and just to sell copies. Yeah. So I do like that has shifted. Yeah. I think that is
healthier. Yeah.
Finally.
Like you can finally choose your own aesthetic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Important to people like me and you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is a healthy shift. But when it comes to like the influencer space, I think what you said is really interesting, like the PR stuff. Like they're not someone who has been coached or trained. Yes. And I think it like the knife cuts both ways with there. Sometimes that's refreshing as hell. Like it's not someone who has this like, I don't know, super crafted message that they're bringing. But then on the other hand, it kind of opens you up to saying something silly or problematic that is not okay to say. Right. Which, I mean, that's where it's like when people get canceled for something that they said or did, I think there is a line, like we're talking about. Where is that line? But to just say your career's over, you're a piece of shit human, like you don't deserve to work again. I don't agree with that. On the other hand, this is what I wanted to say.
Yes.
I think
I love when that happens. No, don't even laugh. Just go before you forget again.
I think also the person allows themselves to be canceled by buying into the canceling. Like if you think about a couple years ago or whatever, when all the, like last year or the summer before, when all the stuff with like, there was like reactivated beef between Hailey and Selena on TikTok. Like everyone was saying that Hailey Bieber had posted a TikTok that was like making fun of Selena Gomez.
That was like winter of 2022.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was huge.
Yeah. And that was really big. And I think because Hailey continued to just like keep posting, like she's still like on some of her YouTubes and stuff was like obviously sad. But she didn't like completely like hide or shut herself away. She just went like moved forward. Right. And then people stopped fucking talking about it, you know, and it was kind of this drama that is hearsay. Like you can't really say for sure what it was or wasn't about, but people like to attach meaning to the two of them.
Yes.
As it pertains to Justin Bieber.
Right.
Which is, I think, problematic, but that's not necessarily like the main issue. But she just was like, okay, whatever. Like I'm gonna like keep doing what I love and just keep being myself and not buy into this. And then eventually it will stop. And it did.
Well, that's
like the news cycle gets old.
Well, yeah, that's my thing. When I'm generally speaking, like I think where I get really torn is like people getting canceled versus not. It's hard for me because influencers make so much fucking money that this whole like getting canceled thing, it's like either way, they're rich, my dudes. They're good. So like you canceling them, like I just don't think it's very effective. But like also like to a certain extent, obviously, like, but I mean, if you're in the millions, like if you're a big influencer, like you're going to cancel Hailey Bieber, she's going to really feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously she's going to feel the words, the horrible things on the internet. Yeah. I'm talking money, like money wise. Yeah. Oh no. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, if that's what you're in it for, like because I know that there are a lot of people that cancel or like participate in cancel culture as a way to like, we'll stop supporting them and stop you know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to keep giving them money. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, where I'm like, guys, they're making so much. And the thing is that I wish people realize is that all cancel culture a lot of the time does is get the person you're canceling more publicity, more clicks. More, you are all making these fucking videos about these people. And if I were them, I'd be like, keep going, babe. You're getting me every video you make, every engagement you have, you are adding to their coin.
It goes back to like any publicity is good publicity. I don't know if that is still the approach, but it was at one point.
I think, well, here's the thing that is crazy though, is that there has to be some sort of effect that cancel culture has that by the way, I'm ignorant. I don't know the actual effects of cancel culture. This is just the things that I feel like I'm seeing. But like there must be some effect because everyone tries to avoid it like the plague. I think celebrities listen, like Taylor Swift, every move that girl makes in the public is completely calculated.
Well, because she got canceled.
And you know, I think that it takes being a certain type of person, and I won't get into that. If it gets political, that's fine. But like Taylor Swift can do that. Yeah. And she did it really well. And it was an incredible comeback. And I think she's so fucking dope for it. And now she has a publicist named Tree.
Tree is a fucking genius.
Tree's crazy. Tree is someone that needs to be studied because that brain, I just think that I think that publicists are I just love that world. So I think that I think they're some of the most, like, it's business strategy. They're constantly strategizing. And like, I follow this PR specialist on TikTok. Her name's Molly. A lot of people follow her. Molly McPherson.
I think, yeah.
I fucking love her. And if there's anything.
Did she do like when all the royal stuff was happening?
Everything. Yeah. Okay. She covers like she covers Travis and Kelsey a lot, or Travis and Kelsey. Travis and Taylor. She covers a little bit of everything and like really offers her 2 cents. And I'm not saying she's always right. I take everything she says with a grain of salt, but
it is nice to listen to an expert in the field.
Yeah. And the theme here is that like everything is calculated. Everything is like when it comes to celebrity.
Yeah.
It is truly all done on purpose and for a reason. And I think it's made me look at celebrity so differently where I'm like, you know,
I think I like to live in the delusion of it all.
That it's really them.
Yeah. It's easier this way. Okay. Just let me have it.
They are They are businesses. They are businesses here to make money, and everything they say is calculated.
But I just want to love them.
That's fine. I still like celebrities, but I'm like, I just don't see it helps me not have parasocial relationships, I thank God. Minus Taylor. That is a beast that I can't touch. God, I love her. But I just think that the canceling, I think it's like we got all of this freedom with the internet.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, we can have opinions and we can say whatever the fuck we want without consequence. And it's like the only thing we can think to do when someone does something we don't like on the internet. It's like we don't have the tools yet to understand like what's an effective way to send a message of like, hey, what you did, I take issue with. Yeah. And somehow it has turned into canceling. And I just, exactly to your point, I think what's disheartening about it is that the people that I love the drama. I'm here for the tea always. And the influencers that I've seen that have gone through the worst cancellations, they always bounce back. Yeah. They always come back. They shut up. They shut the fuck up for like a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month if it's really bad. And then they're back to doing their same bullshit. Yeah. So like,
well, and that's like the thing, the news cycle moves on.
Yes.
But like, do you think, like for instance, like let's say something where there's really not like, it's not clear and it wasn't like a racist or sexist or homophobic thing. Like you look at the issue with Haley and Selena a couple years ago. Like, do you think it's fair or okay that the internet can just go after someone like that?
I think it's hard, and I think you and I are going to disagree because we see celebrities differently. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time feeling bad for people who are multimillionaires. I do. I'm so like, and because like, yes, they have feelings and emotions, and that I don't think is okay. Because like the thing that comes with you know what? Let me say this first and foremost. I'm not okay with people coming with people on the internet because of the extreme things that people are saying. Kill yourself is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Yeah. It's a podcast. I don't know. Fuck it. I think that telling anyone to self-harm is so fucking disgusting. And I think that, I'm sorry, I don't have a better word for it, but like it's bullying. Yeah. This is bully behavior. Yeah. I mean, it is, except for instead of it being like a couple of kids on the schoolyard, it's everyone in the world has access to it. That's terrifying. And I think that it's making it easier for people to be mean without consequences.
Exactly. I agree with you. I don't think like when it comes to like people, getting canceled or whatever, I don't think it's like, I don't know. I don't, I guess, factor in their net worth, because to me, it's like, I'm looking at the human, and their net worth doesn't like make them more or less of a human to me. But when someone is getting canceled on the internet, it is bullying. Like that's, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. It's just in a different form. And I've heard some people talk about this where they've talked about, it's like people leave like some of the nastiest comments or like terrible things, like, you know, on their posts, in their videos, whatever. And they like the analogy that I've heard is like, you wouldn't come into my house and say that. You wouldn't come into my house and like basically take a shit in the middle of the floor and then leave.
That'd be crazy.
And that's like kind of effectively like what a lot of these comments are. Like you're coming into like this person's like space, like you follow them. Yeah. Which you can argue on different platforms is like different because the algorithm will serve you things that, you know, you don't follow. Right. But like if you're like, let's say on Instagram or something, and like you're like looking through the feed of people that you follow, and then you're like leaving these like hate comments or like these nasty, like mean things. Like that's bullying. And you would never say those things to their face.
Right. It's like the keyboard fucking warriors that are like,
yes.
Yeah. Well, and like, I want to be perfectly clear. Like when I say like, I think that there is a side of cancel culture that I'm thinking of that you're not. And I kind of touched on it. It's like people will do the like, I'm not supporting their, like for influencers, like their business anymore, as a way to cancel them, like to stop them from continuing to make money. And in that sense, I'm like, that's stupid. They're celebrities. They can buy privacy. They have all the money in the world. Like, oh no, you're not adding to their million. Like that I think is what I was like talking about, where I'm like, I don't feel bad for influencers when they get canceled in terms of money. If someone's like, I'm not like if Selena Gomez was getting canceled and someone was like, I'm not buying Rare Beauty anymore. I'm like, okay, effective. Cool, dude. But in terms of the emotional side, like, here's my thing. It doesn't feel productive to get on your fucking phone and go into someone's comments and say whatever you're going to say that's disgusting. Like, if you actually don't support, like, there are celebrities that have done gross things, said gross things, supported politicians. Where I'm like, if you actually feel this way, you can just shut the fuck up and not engage with them.
Yes. And you know, I was thinking about this too. So this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think that there is a part of cancel culture that maybe is like effective. And I'll elaborate.
No, I would love to know. I'm sure there is.
I think that sometimes people need the call out.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I think people need to answer for some of the things that they've said or like behaviors that they've taken part in.
We should have said this sooner. Absolutely.
And I think that is what kind of like the threat of a cancel can do for someone. Because I think it can make you face your shit if you've been behaving poorly. Because if you think about it on like a micro level, like in terms of like your friend group or your community that you like hang out with, like if you were to get canceled, which I have been before, in those terms, like it makes you sit with yourself in a way that you've never had to, you know, like it makes you really think about like who you are, what you stand for, like why you behaved that way. And I think it doesn't necessarily matter the scale. I think some people need that kind of a wake up.
Well, and I think that's where I am scared a little bit to talk about this, because I'm not trying to be overly devil's advocate, but yeah, I think you're saying what I was afraid to say, is that I think that letting someone you care about, or letting someone who holds a lot of power in the public carry on or continue behavior that is harming other groups of people is not productive. Yeah. Like, it's okay to call someone out. Yeah. And I think that is what, like, and that makes me feel like cancel culture stemmed from the right idea, and then we fucking ran it into the ground in the worst way. Yeah. Like, it's just, to me, cancel culture is laughable, because I'm like, oh, it's another, like, I'm so numb to it now. Canceled. Canceled. Yeah. Someone's canceled. But
it goes back to,
people
like,
need the call out.
Yeah. And like, if you think about, okay, like, for instance, this is kind of from earlier this summer, but like with the Blake Lively kind of cancel that happened this summer. So for those like listeners who are like don't know what happened, so Blake Lively was in a movie called It Ends With Us. She starred as the lead basically. Yeah, helped direct. Is my understanding alongside her.
She produced,
and then her co-star directed. Correct. Okay. Anyway, there was some kind of drama going on with the way that they were approaching the promotion of this video. And that was kind of evident in, like, they did a lot of separate promoting, which isn't common for two leads. Like, a lot of time you're promoting together, but
it reminds me of Don't Worry, Darling. I don't know if you saw that movie with Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde.
I didn't see the movie, but I did hear about that the drama.
PR. It's the same thing where it's like, I'm sorry, but when you have essentially 8 billion phones on you, or like people watching your every move as a celebrity, people sniff out that tension. Yeah. And I feel like Blake, and I'm so sorry, I don't remember the director's name, her
Justin
co-star.
Baldoni.
Thank you for saying that. There was instant tension. Like, everyone picked up on it when they started doing their promotional whatever.
Yes.
Keep going.
Correct.
Yeah. Lots of tension.
So that was kind of the, like, like exactly what you're saying. Like everybody is like a detective with their iPhone. Like people are picking up on like something's off here.
Myself included.
Yes, same. I was eating that shit up.
Loved every second of it.
Pour the tea.
I love all of it.
It's piping.
I love all of it.
Scald my throat.
Every second of it. I love it.
So everyone was like, I think what happens too, and we saw this last summer or whenever this spring, I don't remember when it happened with all the like the drama with the royal family. Like everybody's like, "Where's Kate?" And then everybody started filling in the blanks.
We fell for that shit hard.
We went in on that.
We
almost
made
crazy.
a whole episode on it. Thank God we didn't.
Thank God we didn't. So that would have been humiliating.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what happens though. It's like people are looking for this like salacious story. Yeah. And then when nothing is being fed, then they fill in the gaps. And then you get a lot of TikTok conspiracy theorists.
I love it.
I love it. It's bad, but I love it. So with all that, like a lot of interviews, previous interviews of Blake, with different reporters, different things, she started to have a lot of stuff released that put her in a really negative light.
Yeah.
On top of people were really critical of the way that she decided to promote this movie, which was at its core about domestic violence. And kind of promote it in a way of, oh, it's a rom-com, like wear your florals, bring your girlfriends.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were really put off by that, which I was put off by it. And then her co-star had a very different approach. So take with that what you will. I'm sure it, like people that know about this have, decided what they think about it. But point is, all this stuff started coming out. It was just kind of this like landslide of bad PR for Blake and a lot of things that looked really bad, right? But at the same time, like we're talking about, I don't think that is an appropriate way. Some of the ways that she was engaging in interviews, like she was being outwardly rude and degrading to one of the interviewers.
I hate those videos.
I mean, it is painful to watch. And her and her co-star in this other film were like kind of mocking her. The interviewer intentionally ignoring her. You could easily
bullies.
Quick Google search. Yeah, quick Google search. Blake Lively co-star bad interview, something like it would come up for you. It was a headline for a lot of weeks. But yeah, bullies. And so that type of behavior coming to surface, coming to light, I do think is good for that person to have to sit with and see.
Yeah.
But also it takes them wanting to take accountability or having the ability to do it. And I don't know. I hope that, that stuff coming to surface, that there is that, but it's,
I feel like it happens so often now that that's never really like, especially with celebrity, with movie stars, where they get canceled or they get under fire and they just disappear and they don't take accountability because it's like, it happens so often that they've learned to just be quiet for a few weeks, wait for the next person to get canceled. And then my thing will be forgotten. Yeah. Because nobody cares about Blake Lively anymore.
No. And I think you're totally right. Like it kind of blew over with the movie. I'd be curious because the book that movie was made about has a sequel. There's been a lot of talk about there being a movie sequel made.
Yes. And the director of It Ends With Us said that he will not be directing it.
Yes. So, but I would be curious if she is doing what she has been doing, which is hiding, avoiding letting it blow over, which in a lot of ways I think is probably
it's
best
better
you can do.
Yeah. Because with PR, like I think the more you say, it's almost like being in like a court of law.
Yes. The more you say, the more incriminating it can be.
Your publicist is your lawyer. Yeah. And it's like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Stop talking.
Don't
do anymore. Stop going to red carpets. Stop all this stuff. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because this news cycle has blown over. I'm curious if they do make that movie again here in the next, we're getting promos for it in 2 years.
I'm sure it will. It made enough money.
I'm curious what the reception of that will be and if it's going to bring all this shit up again.
I bet not.
You don't think so?
I bet not.
Oh,
people are
why?
Because, okay, I don't want to get too rabbit holey and bore you, but I have an opinion about that.
Me.
This all ties in together and listen, can you let me be a conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
Listen,
I
am a doubter and I'm a skeptic of everything.
Yes.
I am a skeptic.
Yes.
Okay. That's just Scorpio stellium. This is how I exist.
Yes.
Okay. You and I are very different in that way, and that's okay.
No, it's good. We're good for each other.
My God. Okay. I sometimes feel like Hollywood is shoved down our and like celebrities and all of that. Like, I love it. I'm a victim to it. I love movies and pop culture and music. We all know this.
Yeah.
Movie girly.
Yeah.
So I am just like everyone else. I just don't know how to stop it. But I do sometimes feel like Hollywood and pop culture are used as a distraction. And I feel like
I've heard these theories.
Yep. And I do. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying it's interesting to contemplate.
Yeah.
And I sometimes feel like things like tabloids, things like social media, things like that are a lot easier and fun to look at and are a form of escapism. And I think that it's shoved into our faces from basically birth, like pop culture and all of that we do form these parasocial relationships, and it is impossible for the celebrities we love the most to be humanized. It's impossible. There are heroes.
Or to like be held accountable.
Or to be held accountable. And like, I mean, I am perfectly okay. And it's really important to me that like as much as I love pop culture, that I try to keep my hand on some grass about the fact that they are people. And that's why like sometimes I try to like call out Taylor Swift, because she's the one that I feel like I have the most parasocial relationship with. And it's like, I honestly try to prepare for the fact that I am sure she has done problematic stuff, because I have been brainwashed into thinking these people are like up here when they are just humans, right? And so I think that like it ends with us. The thing is say in like 5 years, especially like 5 years down the road, fucking 2 years down the road. At the end of the day, Blake Lively was in Gossip Girl. Blake Lively was in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and Blake Lively is best friends with Taylor Swift. She's not canceled. Yeah. She'll be fine. Yeah. Her husband is Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. He is one of the most beloved and rich men in Hollywood, and has like, that's the thing, is all these people, they're going to be fine because they have publicists and because they have this whole body of work, or these like nostalgia pieces of work that have made them untouchable. Blake Lively was canceled and then went and partied at Taylor Swift's Rhode Island house for her birthday. She's fine. Yeah. And if they were to make another another movie, like the sequel, whatever, what is it called? The End.
It Begins With Us.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, when they make It Begins With Us, Blake will be in it and it'll be fine and it'll make millions of dollars in profit. Yeah. And you know, I don't.
And I think at that, like, also with all this stuff too, like what we talked about, it's like, it's publicity. Like,
yes.
Even though it was a shit show and it got so many eyes on that movie, and people who probably wouldn't have seen it went and saw it because of all the attention the promo was getting, even though it was bad.
That's correct. And no
one was boycotting seeing that movie. Everyone's like, oh, we want to go see if there's chemistry on camera.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that these celebrities kind of sit back and like, yeah, you don't want bad publicity, but I don't think anyone's rolling over in their grave when like I honestly, if I had to guess, Blake was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think like,
obviously there's moments of hard. You don't want to read that shit about you. I'm not saying
doesn't feel good. Yeah.
It's not like she's not a person.
Yo, you know what I was jealous of is, so I took Kevin to go see that movie we went to. I can't remember what the theater was, but it was cool. It was like little like love seats. So you would,
was it Studio One?
Maybe
on Powell.
Yeah. It was so cute.
Yeah.
And we got a steak.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. But he didn't know anything about like any of the drama going on. So he got to watch it with just like pure eyes.
That's amazing.
Like, just so, you know, like it's almost like watching a kid on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like he still believed in Santa. You know, like he still believed in Blake.
I liked that movie. It didn't leave an impression.
I think like, because we talked about it, but like I also read the book a few years back. And so I think because of that, I really did like the book and stuff like that. So, but it was like, he was just so into it and was like, had like so many like teary moments. And we were coming out and like one of the guys in the bathroom, like they had like a moment at the urinal where they like didn't expect all those tears or like didn't expect that moment or something. Had like a little cute. Like bro heart to heart.
Yeah. Cute.
Yeah.
I also just like, I don't know. Like sometimes I think about like, I think it's weird that during an election year, like a critical one at that, a pretty important one, all the Diddy stuff comes out like like a month and a half before.
Yeah. It is right on time with the eclipses. I'll say that.
Okay, but take into account the astrology non-believers. Take that out. I'm not saying it's on purpose.
No, but I hear what you're saying. It's a distraction. Like it's getting us talking about something else and like focus on something that is not.
It's easier to talk about a celebrity sex ring empire than it is to talk about the election. And don't get me wrong. I know everything there is to know about Diddy and this whole thing. I have spiraled like the rest of us.
Yes.
And TikTok will, I fall for everything, just so y'all know. Send me a conspiracy theory. I'm going to be like, yeah, that's why I can't do conspiracy theories, because all of them, I'm like, well, maybe.
I believe everything.
Maybe. Listen, I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of TikToks about Beyonce that I am questioning. I can't talk about it.
We can't
start
even
crying.
Get into that.
I'll start crying.
I can't.
I can't worship anyone. I trust no one. That is, at the end of the day, that is what I've decided. But anyway,
I'm curious what your feed is, actually.
Oh, it's so entertaining. It's so good. My TikTok is literally so perfectly curated and so good right now. It's so entertaining.
What is stuff?
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you because I just refuse to believe it. But basically,
I know it's so crazy, but I
also
want to hear.
I really don't love the idea of the fact that this is a powerful black man who did this really proven or almost proven awful thing, and somehow it still ended up being Beyonce's fault. That feels kind of crazy. I don't know. That's where I'm like, can everyone take a fucking pause? This poor woman, just let her be successful. Yeah. And I stand by that until anything else comes out, and then don't come for me.
Okay.
Basically the theory is that Diddy, Jay-Z and Beyonce are kind of
in cahoots.
They're the powerhouse behind all of this. I don't fucking trust Jay-Z for a second, just so we know.
He cheated on Beyonce.
Exactly. Red flag.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to believe that Beyonce was also a victim of Jay-Z. That's what I'm choosing to believe. And she was groomed and she had no choice, and now she's so successful and she has to stay with him.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people on the internet that think that Beyonce was in on it, and that they've just stitched all of these videos together Beyonce when she doesn't win an award, and instead the artist who wins over her always has to thank her. Always has to be I'm sharing this award with you, Beyonce, you're the artist of our life. And Beyonce's just always kind of looking yeah, that's right. It is kind of scary.
No, it is. And then the one person that didn't was Amy Winehouse, and she's dead.
And then yeah,
this is so ridiculous.
I know, but it's kind of crazy. And then Diddy, Jay-Z and Beyonce all born on the 4th. And Jay-Z has an album called 444. And
wait, that's our number.
Oh, fuck me. I'm not a part of it, I swear, you guys. 444 is just the number I always see.
Yeah. But I saw one on the way here.
I see it all the time. It haunts me. But also all of these celebrities that died that are tied to Diddy.
Yeah.
Aaliyah, all of them, Left Eye, all of them. Michael Jackson, they all died on the 25th of the month. Amy Winehouse.
That's creepy.
Have you heard the Brittany Murphy stuff?
Oh, a little bit. Tell
okay,
me more.
Listen, I know that you love him, but I truly do believe that Ashton Kutcher is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, I actually...
No, there's been... Now, after you told me what you told me, there's just been some more stuff that I've been fed, and I'm just nope, this is getting darker than I wanted to.
And I think he's so loud about sex trafficking for a reason. I think because he's a part of it.
That's the part that's crazy, but I don't think you're wrong necessarily.
I'm not wrong.
I don't know, man.
I'm so sorry. Ashton Kutcher, you can suck my dick.
But if that's the case, that's a brilliant way to just hide in plain sight.
It's genius.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying is he is a publicist.
Get involved in it.
Yeah. And here's what's weird. You already know about Diddy's ex, Kim, and she died of pneumonia.
Yeah. And so did everyone around her.
Yeah. And so did Brittany Murphy when she was dating Ashton Kutcher and they were hanging out with Diddy.
Wait, she wasn't dating Ashton at the time. She was married.
They were dating, and then she got no. They were dating. They broke up.
She was married to that older, he was older, and it was a weird pair.
But the rumor is that she had threatened to come forward about the stuff she had seen while she was dating Ashton hanging with Diddy.
And then she got pneummonia. Which is how everyone supposedly Diddy is getting offed.
And just there is the attorney came forward and said that they're going to be filing about how he had all of this access to all of these crazy drugs. And I just it's all just connected enough that I think a lot of it's going to be true.
That's what's crazy. Because I think, okay, if you think about what we do know is crazy.
It's nuts.
And I think okay, two things. There's rumors travel quickly.
They do, especially with the internet. It's
There's
crazy.
also telephones. So those rumors get twisted up.
Yes.
But in some way, there is an ounce of like something that was true in there.
I know.
So that's what's a little bit yikes.
Did you see the Texas? Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go.
No.
There's a Texas attorney. He's representing all the 120 of the victims. And he was like, there is a victim who's as young as nine.
A little baby. Oh, okay. This is some tea. So the last year with the rap battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Yeah. Fuck Drake.
He put out that music video, which I didn't see till recently.
Which
Kendrick.
one? Oh, yep. The Not Like Us, I'm assuming.
I think so.
Yeah.
Whichever one shows him at like a
mansion,
maybe, but like a shipping yard.
I think that's Not Like Us. I'm pretty sure.
Boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, so someone broke it down, like all the kind of nods to like sex trafficking. And so like and this is like, I think at Drake, right?
Yeah.
And maybe whoever else, but that there was like vents, like in the shipping container, which like, why would you need a vent in a shipping container? And it was like one of those like a ventilator type of vent where it's like, you would only need that if you're transporting something that you need to keep alive.
Right.
So there's that. God. And then there was like a hopscotch thing. So like reference to children.
Yeah.
And then it was also like that shipping yard that they were at is like directly across from Diddy's mansion.
Fuck.
In Miami.
See, that seems real to me.
And then Drake and Diddy were like seen having an altercation in that area.
Yeah.
So there was just like a lot of things in that video.
I think that's real.
What was crazy and everybody was like, that's fucked up and you went too far, was when Kendrick Lamar called Drake a pedophile or something to that effect.
No, I think that was real.
And I think, I don't know, it was kind of one of those ones where everyone's like, ooh. And like, they're like, wait, that was kind of fucked up, bro. But like, wait, are you serious? And then it didn't really go very far.
Yeah.
But I think now with all this stuff coming up,
people are taking it.
Yeah.
I will say that I think that's another example of what I'm trying to say, though, is like Kendrick Lamar comes forward and calls Drake, who is I think
beloved.
I think he's the most successful rapper of all time, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And calls him a pedophile. And instead of people being like, maybe we should look into this, they get mad at Kendrick Lamar and say it's too far.
Yeah.
Because he's so beloved that people will defend their faith. You know, another example of this, and it's coming from the Diddy stuff that is upsetting me. Listen, I understand that people love Kanye West. I get it. I fucking get it. I think it's a little tired. I think people need to let it go. But like,
I didn't know people still loved him.
People are anytime something is
old
popular.
Kanye is, I mean, I can get down with old Kanye, but it's like still hard.
Like for me, I'm like, yeah, like listen to his music, but like, why are you talking about something that was 20 years ago? Like, just listen to his music and like, why are you defending him? Like, but I think it's kind of crazy that like, and irresponsible that there's what I keep seeing also is that because people worship celebrities so much, they can't accept the fact that Kanye West is he's just kind of a bad guy. He's sick and he's kind of a bad person. And he also is best friends with Jay-Z and Beyonce was.
Right.
And people are coming forward and saying, oh, Kanye, when he went on stage for the VMAs with Taylor, was actually trying to protect her from Beyonce.
I know. I'm like, give me a break.
Like, and it's like, no, okay, so now we're just
drunk. Like,
Taylor can't even blink wrong and she's a villain, but Kanye West, who actually does something terrible, now you're justifying
he's a savior.
it.
Yeah. I was like okay, this is tired.
We're taking it. I think that a lot of it is going to be real, but I also think that like using it to justify your favorite celebrity's shitty behavior is crazy. I think that a lot of celebrities have a lot of power and a lot of money and are doing really dark shit, and Hollywood's getting turned on its head. Kesha just was quoted as saying the music industry better be fucking terrified of me because she's going to tear it to shreds. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, she has been through some shit and seen some shit and is like ready to take names.
Okay, did we talk about this last weekend when we went away for my birthday? Because like, listen, like you and Taylor and like, I mean, some old Katy Perry's cool, but like you guys love Katy Perry. How do you feel about her working with Dr. Luke, who is a rapist? He raped Kesha. Raped her.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, because I didn't know any of that. This is the first time I'm hearing this. So, because I know that there was like a lot of people who were like hating on her on the Call Her Daddy interview.
Yeah.
And that
it was my least favorite part.
With like she was in cahoots. I didn't listen to the whole interview. So does it get addressed?
Alex, love Alex Cooper so much. Alex does ask her about it. She's like, you're under a lot of fire for this. Why did you choose to work with him?
So it was like, she knew before working with him.
Oh yeah, because the Kesha thing was like it came out and like it was a big deal. It tapped like in the headlines for weeks. Yeah. She accused Dr. Luke and like he basically signed her, like she was like his slave almost. Oh, like because of the contracts he's and like Doja Cat's under a contract with him, and so she has to keep working with him. He makes these contracts with these women, and then they can't leave or work with anyone else until the contract's up. Yeah. And Kesha came forward a few years ago and was like, yo, this man raped me. And a lot of the public didn't believe her, which is
I remember that. And then she released it like an album that was supposedly like stunning, but it was like why she kind of went dark is because it was after that,
because he and so then hey bully, and so then Alex was like, why? Yeah. Why? Yeah. And she was like, I mean, she really danced around it, and all she really gave was like, well, you know, I mean, we've worked together before, and I didn't just collaborate with him. I collaborated with these other people I've worked with in my past. And that's all she said. And it's like, okay,
that's disappointing.
But you can't release an album where there's like a song called Woman's World, and she talks so much about being a feminist and all of these things. And like this, and now this is perfect. Yeah. We're looping back to cancel culture where I'm like, okay, this feels disingenuous. And for me personally, that is when I want to cancel or no longer support the art or the whatever of someone that it's like, yo, like I believe women. And if a woman comes forward and is like, yo, this person raped me, and a woman is like, glad it wasn't me, I'm going to go make music with him.
That's icky.
Yeah, because
I understand now. Yeah.
I think that like and this is just a personal thing to where like when I feel the need to cancel is like, I am such a consumer of art and like music, movies, whatever, that it is a huge part of who I am. Mm-hmm. And so I think that parasocial relationship for me is like, I don't want to consume art that is made by someone who could be tied to me that doesn't reflect my character or my beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, like I think
it's like an integrity issue.
Yeah. And I think it's really easy to say separate the art from the artist. And I think that is a like there's people that I like their art that I have to kind of use that tactic for sure. But I do think that that's easier said than done. I think in today's world where we do have social media and they aren't just artists, like we see everything of them. Yeah. Right. Like we see all aspects of their life. It's kind of hard to just see them as a singer.
Yeah, I totally
because they're not.
Yeah. It's more than that.
It is more than that.
Yeah.
Especially because of how we consume media and how pop culture is so prevalent in American culture that I think that is kind of a cop out. Like, I think just listen to their, like, listen, I think I was listening to, there was a Kanye West song that played on my shuffle tonight because I loved him in high school, and it's one of my like songs on my iTunes. And like, I also recognize that I'm not changing the world by not listening to Kanye.
Right. But also, and just to like kind of wrap things up, like it's doesn't make you feel good. Yeah. You know, like it's hard to now listen to like an Usher song or God, like a Diddy feature or or Kanye without just kind of maybe like feeling icky some type of way.
It's like how I feel about Michael Jackson.
Now, like now that you're saying that about Katy Perry, it's like,
sorry.
It's hard.
I know. I don't want to ruin it.
It does make you think about it. And but those are the type of things that like we've talked about is that sometimes you do have to answer for some of this shit.
There's a line, right? Yeah. Like I feel like
think about it and what would Tree Payne do?
Yeah. And if an influencer is getting canceled for receipts that came up from 10 years ago, I'm going to roll my eyes and not care.
Yes.
But if someone is like running a sex trafficking, I
didn't have receipts from 10 years ago.
Listen, I'm taking computer science right now and I'm learning all about the digital footprint, and it is so scary, my dude. If you want to be a famous person, you better clear your shit because it's eventually.
Usher tried to.
I know. And then he was like, oh, I got hacked. Convenient motherfucker.
Timing.
Convenient. Anyway, celebrities are crazy. Cancel culture, I understand, but it doesn't work. So we need to come up with a new tactic to hold people accountable. That's what I have to say about that.
I think that wraps it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, Bully looks like he's tired of listening to us talk.
He smiled at me. It was pretty cute. Bully. We had a moment, didn't we? Hi, Bully.
He's a Cancer. So Maybe that's why he's so moody and up and down all the time.
100% yes.
Oh, it's too much.
Anyway, on that note, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kelly, KELLIE, A Weld. And on TikTok.
Kelly, you're on camera. You look so annoyed to say
Oh, sorry. No, I'm not annoyed. I'm sorry.
I'm cracking up. You're like, anyways.
And then you can find me on TikTok at Kelly Weld. And I don't use X, Twitter. Or any of that.
I don't know. I'm torn. Like, I don't know which one to use. Anyway, I'm on all socials at Chloe Anna Mikkel, CHLOEANAMIKELE. And then we are on
Let's Get Taboo.
Yeah.
On everything.
Let's Get Taboo on everything.
Yeah.
So follow us.
Yes.
We post some funny things.
Or we're working on it.
Eventually we'll be funny.
Eventually, one day.
We're working on it.
We'll learn. We'll get the sticks out of our asses. All right, anyway, on that note.
Good night, everyone. Goodbye. I don't know.
Oh, we said good night.
It's 10 p.m. Get me the fuck out of here. I need to go to my bed.